So recently I was sent in some footage from a viewer of mine. He asked me to critique his sparring footage. If you would like to have that done as well, you can go ahead and hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. I believe right there, should be right there. Um, now, this guy asked me to critique not just him, but also his opponent. And I have a feeling it's because they're probably teammates. This was, I guess, a tryout for his college boxing program. So I would guess that these guys are probably working together. You know, they're about the same size. The thing is, like, even if there's only one slot that can be utilized, you need guys that are going to work with you, and they need to be your size. You know, you can't have the heavyweight sparring with the flyweight. You need a backup heavyweight for if somebody gets hurt or just for general training purposes. So, with that said, our guy, I forget if I mentioned already, is in black, and his opponent slash teammate is in the white. We're going to go ahead. We are going to take a look. So right away, I like that you're changing levels, right? Meaning the dude in the black, right? I like that he's changing levels. The only thing is he's kind of dropping his hands down here, and that's not good. The level change is kind of helping him out a little bit. There was an attempt at a little bit of head movement from White right here, which is good. White seems to be very flat-footed, and he is also very square. He's flat-footed and he's square. He's practically standing straight on when he wants to be just a little bit more bladed, right? If you're bigger, it's gonna be a little bit harder for you to get away with that bladed movement, right? But or that bladed stance, but it doesn't mean you're gonna be like standing completely square, you know? So again, one thing that I'm liking from Black is that he's using those level changes, and he's using them quite a bit. Ooh, that was quite the swing there. Again, you want to make sure you keep everything compact. All right, don't be pulling out like that. Don't be dropping your hands when you throw. And that is one thing that he's doing. I like the head movement. He's very reliant on it, and I would assume that's because that's his like move, right? That's just what he feels comfortable with. When you start boxing, a lot of people tend to latch on to specific moves and things like that that they feel comfortable with. It's not like bad. You got to get comfortable. Ooh, that was nice. Fuck it. All right, so the touching gloves. Right away, one thing, right? White is very flat-footed. Okay, we have what looks to be a little bit of head movement from Black. That's good on him. But White is very flat-footed and he's very square, right? When you're in boxing, especially, but even in other arts like Muay Thai, where you would be a little bit more square. I'm in a chair right now, so obviously it's going to be a little bit weird. You don't want to be like almost completely squared up, especially not in boxing. You want to be a little bit bladed. You want one foot in front of the other, which he does have, but you also need to turn your body, your shoulders and your hips so that one shoulder is facing more forward. Now, here, right, obviously one of his shoulders is a little bit more forward, but he's kind of like here, right? He should be at the very least here. Now, when you're a bigger guy, which these guys seem to be bigger dudes, you're not going to be as bladed as someone who is a smaller weight, but you're still going to be bladed. You have to be bladed. As opposed to Black right here, where, like I said, he seems to be in the middle of some kind of level change. You can see the bladed stance. And the reason why this is good is because he is less of a target, meaning his body is less of a target. And then he's also going to be a little bit more athletic, which we'll unpause and we'll see just how this ends. So that was a jab high and a jab low from Black, followed by a jab to the body and then up high. He's really working that level change, which is good. You know, he's going low to the body, up high, you know, and that's not bad. White's kind of giving it to him a little bit. But the thing I'm going to say, and this is probably one of the more obvious ones from both of them, is that their hands are wild. You're seeing Black, who like I said, I like the level change. I like how he's going low and then high. I like how he's going high then low. When he's throwing and he's pulling his arms back like that. And same thing with I almost said yellow for some reason. Same thing with White. where he should have his hands up here. He's kind of got them down here, right? And they're kind of getting wild. You see, they're kind of moving around a little bit in ways that they should not. Um, this is all stuff that you absolutely positively have to work on. There's no drill that you can do. There's no like exercise that you can do that simulates it. You just have to work on it, right? In your shadow boxing, make sure your hands are here. All right. Whether you're looking through your binoculars or if you're just, you're protecting your chin specifically, right? Um, Absolutely positively 100 million percent focus on that. Don't just go and be like, yeah, I'm going to shadow box. Think, I'm going to keep my hands up while I shadow box every second, right? But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll see what else we can see. A little bit of attempted head movement from White there. Ooh, that was nice. Low and then high from Black. So Black is really hitting that low to high, right? Right here. He's really going jab to the body, and then he'll come up high a lot of the time. Um, that level changes are not a novice thing. Level changes are not a novice thing. Please don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that level changes are something you don't need. Everybody needs level changes all the time, no matter what, right? But focusing in on one specific move or tactic can be something that novice boxers tend to do to try and feel comfortable, and that's not a bad thing. What Black is doing is not a bad thing. Focusing in on something that is working for him, right? However, I want to see a little bit more variety, right? And I don't just mean variety insofar as like the tactics. Like for one thing, you can start using fakes, right? Start going double jab to the head and then cross to the body, things like that, right? Well, I mean, that is variety insofar as using a level change, right? But I want to see a blossoming of the understanding of the game. And part of that can include getting better at the level change aspect. Like I said a second ago, go double jab to the head, cross down low. Go jab to the body, uppercut off of that jab. Fake low, go high, which I believe he did at least once or twice, right? I believe that happened once or twice. I could be wrong about that, but it will. I've watched this a couple of times. I'm pretty sure I saw it. If I haven't seen it thus far, I'm pretty sure it comes later in the round. But as for White, really, he's kind of got a similar issue. I just think these guys are both very new. And White is a little bit more new. He needs to get his footwork down a little bit better. He needs to keep his hands up a little bit better. And he needs to learn how to deal with somebody who's using those level changes and stuff like that. If you want to work on footwork, again, it's like if you're trying to work on keeping your hands up. There's no exercise you can do that is going to help you with it. You just got to work on your footwork. When you go to shadow box and you want to do your footwork, think all I'm going to do is footwork. Don't even throw punches. Literally, just move around. Just be light on your feet, right? Kind of like if you watch the way Ali does his footwork, even if you're a heavyweight, it can be good to work footwork that way because even though you're not gonna, well, I mean, Ali was a heavyweight, but he wasn't like most heavyweights, right? If you're a big, wide, tall ass heavyweight, it can be good to still try and move like that because even though you're typically not going to move like that in sparring or a fight, it just helps you generally with your athleticism and your foot-eye coordination, I guess you would call it. Feels weird say calling it that. Feels a little bit weird, but um, really what it comes down to is just get good, right? And obviously I don't mean that in a chauvinistic way or like an asshole way. It's just like, like all the stuff that I'm saying right now is just stuff that all you just need time. You just need time. You just need to work on it, right? But with that said, let's keep going. We're 10 minutes into this and we're not even a minute into the sparring. I'd like to see him because right now Black is going jab, cross. in some way. Oh, that wasn't bad. He tried to throw a double jab there. He's only throwing in twos. I'd like to see him throwing threes and fours, you know? Maybe go jab to the head, cross to the body, and uppercut, not uppercut, hook to the head, right? Damn, that was a wide swing. So is that, you know? Um, Again, it's the hands thing. Don't reach back, you know? So one thing that's happening, right? I'll pause it again to explain this. Handsome. Oh, we got handsome over here. Hey there, dude. The camera loves you, man. The camera loves you. Um, no, but what's happening here, right? One thing that's been happening this whole round. I'll unpause it in a second to see if I can show you this. Is Black has been going first, and what I mean by that is these two, they get into a range where they can punch, or maybe they're just outside of punching range, right? And as soon as White sets, Black starts throwing, right? That's a good way to keep someone off balance. That's a way that people will weaponize pace, right? That's not a bad thing at all. Usually when people do that, they're not throwing ham hocks. They're not swinging as hard as they can, i.e. like a Tony Ferguson or a Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz, right? If you watch the way those guys use their boxing, they're typically not throwing 100%. They're throwing like 60, 70, maybe 80%. And they're throwing in volume at a pace that is really annoying for the other guy. And that's the way that they're able to make it work for them, is they wait to be in that range. As soon as they see that person setting to try and throw something, it's, oh, bang, bang, bang. All right, now I'm out, right? Black is doing a good job at that. Okay, like I said, for that, not technique, but for that strategy, he's throwing a little bit hard, but he's doing a good job of that, right? White should try his best to adopt that himself, right? He should be the one going first. And if he can't go first, he needs to get out of there. He shouldn't just set, and then when he sees Black also set, and he's not ready to start punching, just sit there. Because that's why White is getting hit. That's why White is getting hit. He should set, he sees Black set, he isn't quite ready yet. All right, I'm gonna get the hell out of here, right? And that's how I, that's how I like to teach people, because if you do that the right way, right? Whether you're doing it the way that like one of the Diaz's would, or if you're doing it like this dude is right here, if you are selective enough, you can throw power. And you're going to be in a situation where he's constantly off balance, which means he's not going to be able to throw effectively. So the entire fight is going to be you dominating him, right? Of course, that is in theory. It's a theory that, you have seen it work in the past, right? But it's just best case scenario that I'm talking about. And that's what's happening with Black right here, is he's dominating the fight because he is going first. He's not letting White get comfortable. He's not letting him set. And because of that, when White is throwing, a lot of the time it is a little bit weird. But let's see if we can catch an example of this. You see? That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like that right here. That right here, okay? Okay? So, I'll try and go back just a little bit more. You see he moves back, and then he stops, and then White walks into range, and he immediately has something to say about that, right? Back, Meanwhile, White is just kind of chilling there, right? And I understand it can be weird when you're first starting to know when a good time to punch is, but I'm just saying, that was nice. Hard shot to the body, hard shot to the head right after. That was nice. And he did it off of a level change. That was good, I think level changes is going to be Black's game. He's just got to get a little bit better at, certain fundamentals, as well as a little bit more robust with it, because there's a lot of things you can do by weaponizing level changes, Again, White just kind of sitting there. So yeah, I mean, these guys are both very new, okay? That's all good. And they're gonna get good. They're in an environment, like team sports are a good environment to get good at something in. It's easy to not get good at boxing because you don't have anybody who's like, "Hey, come on, kid, come on, dude, fucking get in the gym, dude." If these guys are working together, if they work very closely together, you know, they're gonna form a certain bond. Not to be like romantic about it or anything like that, but they're gonna form a certain bond where like. They're not gonna want to miss the gym because they're gonna be like, oh well, Jimmy. I don't know their names, but Jimmy. Um, he's going to be at the gym today, and if I'm not at the gym today, then he doesn't have somebody to work with, which means I'm letting him down. I'm not just letting me down. um so like that's something I wish more colleges had, was boxing programs. That'd be really cool. And you would see, um I mean, you would see boxing take a certain path. I feel like my guess would be right, because a lot of people who go to the Olympics and stuff like that, they're typically not even going to bother with college, at least when it comes to boxing, right? Boxing is kind of somebody's college, when it's somebody who's like really really that serious about it. But there's nothing wrong with having college boxing programs where there is a training culture that is instilled in these guys, who maybe they get out and they pick up boxing a little bit more seriously, or maybe they get into MMA or something like that, right? Maybe they just go into local gyms, and because of that, they have a little bit more experience, and the environment in that gym is elevated, right? I wish there was more college boxing programs. I'd love to get one started at one of the places that I'm near, but I wouldn't even know how to get that started in the first place. And then on top of that, like the liberals, the liberals don't like contact sports. No, no, sir. The liberals wouldn't let me do it, is what it is. George Soros is going to call the liberals and say, "Hey, no, no, none of that. We can't have people throwing punches." Um, but yeah, I mean, good job to both of them. All right. I hope they both made the team. Like I said, I would assume they did, because he wanted me to critique not just him but his partner as well. Why would he do that if his partner didn't make the team and wasn't training anymore, right? So, good luck to both of them. All right. Feel free to send me any footage of fights and things like that. If you guys end up fighting, feel free to send me any footage of those. And yeah, so good luck out there. Peace out.